Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and I have been driving electric now for 13 years. 10 of those years have been in a Tesla vehicle. I am very happy with my car. It's a wonderful experience. Some people don't like Tesla, and this video is not going to be for you. But I think if you were looking for a Tesla, it's actually a pretty good time to look because they have an abundance of inventory. And I am noticing that a lot of cars are getting discounted beyond the price reduction that they made to their cars recently. So this might be a good time to act on it. And so what I thought I would do in this video is show you where to look for these special pricing offers and how to track things. And I'm also going to give you some warnings because I am finding that Tesla's communication, especially pre-sale and leading up to the delivery, is very poor now. And there are some things you should be prepared for. And these are some pitfalls, I think, that might hurt Tesla in the end, especially because I don't think they're as focused on customer satisfaction as they used to be. But if you're looking for a deal, now might be the time to do it. So we're going to dive into this in just a second. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this is not a paid sponsorship by Tesla, nor are they reviewing or approving what you're about to see before it is uploaded. The link that I provided you is a referral link, which will get a little bit off the car for you and points that I can use to redeem for accessory items and that sort of thing. But you don't have to use my link. You can go to Tesla directly and price out your car that way. Now, when you get to the link here, what you're going to see are all the models that are currently offered. And what you could do is click on Order Now and build out a car at list price. The advantage with this, of course, is that you can pick your color and the wheels and some of the other accessories that may or may not be on the model that you're looking at. But if you go over here to Explore Inventory, you will be brought to this page, which will list out all the cars that are currently sitting on the lot. In this case, I put in the Mount Kisco zip code, but whatever zip code you put in will kind of get you directed towards the Tesla store that is closest to where you are. And where I am in Connecticut right now, Tesla is restricted from selling directly to customers. So if you're in Connecticut like I am, you got to schlep all the way over to Mount Kisco to pick up your car. Although they will be opening a store at the Mohegan Sun Casino here in eastern Connecticut, because that casino is located on tribal land and is not subject to the laws restricting the sale of automobiles directly. So that will be coming soon here in my home state. Now, what I would suggest that you do when you first jump into this page here is go up to the sortation and go from price low to high. And this will pull out the cars that are really getting reduced in price significantly. And as you can see here, there's a Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive model for about $5,000 off the list price. Now, you do want to look very carefully at each listing because they do mix in demo models with the inventory models. The demo models have mileage on them. They'll indicate how many miles it has. And these are cars that are either used for test drives, or it's possible that somebody took delivery of the car and then returned it. So just keep a close eye in this section here because it'll indicate what's a demo versus an inventory model. This one appears to be an inventory model. There's no mileage listed here. If you click on View Details, you can get a little more information about the car itself. I have not seen any of these that have the full self-driving as part of the deal, so that would be something you have to add on now or later. But it is pretty inclusive here of what you can expect your car to have. And then you can also get a peek as to what color the interior is here as you scroll through the photos. Now, what they require you to do, and this is one of my gripes right now about the order process, is that in order to reserve the car, you have to put down a deposit, which is no big deal. You got to put down a deposit when you buy a car anywhere. However, this deposit now is non-refundable. It's $250. And you can't get a final offer on your trade-in until you commit to buy the car. And what's worse is that you don't get the firm trade offer until you have your delivery appointment scheduled. Now, that's not how it used to work. In the past, you would take a few pictures of your car, you'd send it into the trade-in team, and they would give you a firm offer before you were committed to doing anything. Now, you don't get your trade-in value until about a day before you're scheduled to pick up the car. I can't think of any car dealership that works this way, but this is how Tesla's doing things now. And I don't think it's very consumer friendly, but people are doing it, so they're selling cars, but I just don't like the idea of having to wait that long for a trade offer, especially after a non-refundable deposit is made. Another thing on the Model 3s and the Ys is that there is a federal tax credit available if you meet certain eligibility criteria. You're not going to get a check in hand necessarily, but you will have this amount reduced from your taxes if you do purchase the vehicle. There are leasing options also, and I think those tax credits get worked into the lease somehow. So take a look and see what works best based on what financing you choose. I'm going to select the Model S here real quick because there are some pretty good discounts on the upper end models, but you have to look carefully here. So as I mentioned before, if it is a demo model, you'll see the odometer reading up here. So this white one has 52 miles. This one has 915. I'm finding there's often not much of a rhyme or reason between the pricing differences here. Maybe this one has yoke steering, so that's why the price is more for the 915 mile version. The yoke steering is now an option. So they recently just changed things around. So you've got these models here with 375 mile range. The newer version of the Model S has 405 miles of range. They don't typically go on a year-to-year basis here, so both of these cars are both 23 model year, but this one is newer with different features than this one. Slightly different features, but different features nonetheless. And another thing to look for as you scroll down are the more expensive cars, because the longer these cars sit, the more they get discounted. So this car is $91,000 now, but I have seen cars with the same configuration with no miles on them selling for this price with that color and interior. So you might want to just keep coming back. Don't settle for anything because they are still stuck with a ton of inventory. Look at all these cars just sitting there. And this is just one zip code that we're looking at. So they're desperate to get these cars moving. They're not going to negotiate with you directly, but I would just log into the page every morning and just see where the deals are and kind of go from there. The Model Ys are not as discounted right now. These cars are probably the more popular one that they're selling, so you're not going to see tremendous discounts here. This one's looking at just $1,000 off the price, but again, some of the upper models are looking at more significant discounts off stickers. So sometimes patience can win the day here. Now, if you have an existing Tesla and you have the full self-driving option, you can transfer that option to a new vehicle, provided you do it by the end of September, I believe. It's a short-running promotion that they have. And the full self-driving option right now is $15,000, which is kind of crazy for a feature that's not fully baked yet, but that's what they're charging for it. You can also subscribe to it. I think you get like a 3-month trial through the affiliate link that I provided, so there are some options to look at there. And two other notes on full self-driving. The new vehicles come with the full self-driving hardware version 4. That version of the hardware is not yet compatible with the full self-driving feature. It'll be available in a future firmware update. And the big update that's coming down that's apparently going to be better than anything they've ever had before is not going to work with the new hardware for at least 6 months after they ship it for the old version of the full self-driving hardware that's in a majority of the Tesla vehicles on the road. And that said, if you were interested in a used car, there are a number of used inventory models that have full self-driving already installed. So here's a 2019 Model 3, for example, for less than 35 grand that has the feature already on board. I found a number of Model Ys close to me that are used that also have full self-driving enabled on them as well. So if you were okay with a used car and you wanted full self-driving on your vehicle for the lifespan of that vehicle, you can get it here for the used price without having to spend more for the feature. So over the years, I've seen a couple of instances where Tesla's had these inventory gluts and you can often get a really good deal. And one thing that's changed over the years, though, is the level of communication and customer service that you get from Tesla. It is almost completely non-existent. It might be better perhaps in areas where there is a local dealership that you can go to and take a test drive and talk to somebody. But for the most part, your experience is going to be very much one way. You're going to make your deposit like you buy a book on Amazon. You're not going to hear from anybody until they push you to make the appointment. And just about all of the communication is a take it or leave it kind of thing. There is very little interaction until you actually go and pick up the car. What I'm hearing from friends that have been going to some of these Tesla pickup locations is that they're moving a lot of this inventory out. Things are chaotic. They want to get you out of there as quickly as possible. But take your time and document anything on the car that doesn't look right. Because one of the things that Teslas are notorious for are things that don't often fit right. Maybe your door's a little bit out of alignment, or maybe there's a scratch or something. It happens more often than not. So take a close look at everything, document everything before you drive away with it, and certainly before you sign your life away on accepting the vehicle, because you want to make sure that if there is damage to the car upon delivery, that you note it there at the delivery center so they can't say that you caused the damage yourself. So I'm concerned over the long run, just in the decline of overall customer service that I've seen as a Tesla owner for the last 10 years. My father's been a Tesla owner for a little bit longer, and he's pretty much done with the brand given some of his experiences lately interacting, or lack thereof, with the support staff on some issues he's had with his vehicle. So the cars are great, but I do think Tesla needs to focus back on customer service again, and you will find the experience of buying a Tesla to be a very impersonal one, but at least the product is good, for now at least. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Brian Parker, Chris Allegretta, Hot Sauce and Video Games, Logic KGR, Tom Albrecht, and Amda Brown. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.